I definitely used to think that the extent of following Jesus and loving your neighbors was inviting them to church with you. It was probably right when I got to college when the Lord just made abundantly clear that he calls us to be sent into the world, to go on other people's turf and to meet them where they are. Early on in college, someone once shared with me that you are the closest thing to a pastor that most people will ever meet. Which just was kind of mind-blowing to realize that, yeah, most of my friends, as inviting as the doors of Croix Church in Cape Girardeau, Missouri are, most of my friends will never step foot in there. So what are we doing waiting around? Like, let's go do it. My name is Hannah, and this is my story of how I eventually became the doula and interpreter for my waitress's baby. I moved to Cape in March of 2019, and one of my first weekends here, I went to a Mexican restaurant by myself because I had no friends. And the girl who was bussing my table after I ate, said thank you or something like that to her. I could tell she didn't speak English, which I speak Spanish. I studied Spanish in school, and I really love it. So I just started chatting with her in Spanish. Asked her name, and not a whole lot of super deep intent behind that other than just being kind. After meeting Edith that first night, I ended up going back to the restaurant a ton because it's delicious. And yeah, every time I went, I would find her and say hi to her. I would ask the hostess, like, hey, is she working tonight? Like, can I just pop my head back and say hi and see how she's doing? I just kind of figured, what do I have to lose? It started as just small talk. There wasn't any like magical moment of like, I feel this Christian connection with this person. It was just being nice and talking about our days and where are you from? Where are you from? Yeah, from there we kind of just struck up a friendship. With that, just with investing time in each other, we, kind of earned the right to like go deeper in those conversations. We talked about, who do you think God is? Where do you think he was in all this? Man, like I hear you and that sounds really painful and like I can imagine that you would be questioning and things like that. That summer, she announced on Facebook that she was pregnant. She was expecting a baby. And so, of course, did the excited girl thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, so exciting. And we talked a lot about that, like just message back and forth. And then that fall, she asked me one day if I would go with her to one of her appointments, which I was so excited about. She's like, yeah, I want to go with you. I want you there. And I think that's when I really realized, like, this is more than just an acquaintance. She's truly my friend. So that led us to February of 2021. She asked me, will you be there? Like, will you be my interpreter? Like, will you help with this? We begun the long, hard process of labor, which took upwards of 33 hours. I was actually the one counting, uno, dos, tres, push! It's just one of the most purest forms, to me, of loving someone, of like, I have nothing to give but just sitting in this lazy boy next to your bed and holding your hand while you scream in pain. We left with beautiful baby Dylene, happy and healthy. I think we as a church do a lot of waiting and deferring. I'm sure there's a ministry out there that will support that person, or there's a pastor out there who will reach my friend. It's their job, and it's not. Again, we are Plan A. That's us. I think there are so many amazing nonprofits and organizations, and if you leave this message saying, I want to give more of my time or money to that, I think that's awesome. And I would challenge you, there are people who will never be touched by those nonprofits. And like, there are people who will never be reached unless it's you sitting down on their couch with them and listening. I'm sure there are a lot of people watching this being like, waiting for me to say the E word, evangelism. And to that, I would just say, we're overcomplicating it. Like, evangelism is being someone's friend and like leaning into times when things could be awkward, and instead saying like, hey, you're opening up your heart a little bit to me. Like, I want to sit here with you in that, and like loving them and telling them about Jesus. A lot of times telling them about Jesus starts with asking them. So many times Jesus answers a question with another question. Being sent into this world, it's doing what Jesus did, and it's sitting and having meals with people and going on walks with people and loving them and asking questions. Getting to follow Jesus in this way and getting to love others is so richly rewarding. My relationship with Edith and Dilene has given me a lot of joy.